Hola, how are you today? It is very gray here. You can see I have a nice new Crow Cottage sign. Welcome to Kathy Crow's Cards. I'm Kathy Crow. This is the Crow Cottage. And thank you so much, Dan, for making that sign for me. I know you made it for Jeff and I, but I feel like it was made for me. Thank you so much. Jeff really liked it too. And I'm glad he was the one who was able to tell you how we wanted it done, because you did it exactly. I don't know what our options were. I never saw the options, but I love it. It's perfect. And you're good. You're good at that. Anyway, so you might have some business coming your way if somebody sees that and thinks, I might like a wood sign that says whatever I want it to say within, reason. Today I am going to use this backgrounds border. Oh, I got my title wrong. I'll have to change it. It's Borders to Backgrounds. I thought it was Backgrounds to Borders. And this is, no, that is not what I am doing. I'm going to have to change my title. I have used that a bunch, so that's why I was confused. Today, we are not using that. We are using Playful Backgrounds. Now, Borders to Backgrounds is really cute. I have been playing with it a lot. It is in the new catalog that is not available for you to order from unless you are a demonstrator. Hi, Linda. It's nice to see you. If you are a demonstrator, you could be getting this in your pre-order. That's part of the sweet deal of being a hobby demonstrator. I call myself a hobby demonstrator because I really am not in this business to make money. It is paying for my stamps, pretty much. I'm so happy to all of the people that are making that happen for me. I really do appreciate it, because I wouldn't be able to buy half the stuff I do otherwise. So that has been really sweet. It's nice to see you, Trudy. Hope everything's going well for you guys today. I'm sorry I'm coming on late. I just slept in late, and I was playing with this set. So I am going to use this set today with this. Now this one is available in our annual catalog. So it is available today, anytime. We are going to just use this stamp and this stamp together. I love this one. Although the backgrounds aren't big, they still work really well to cover a whole sheet for a card. But the new one that I'm going to use today is Garden Wishes. Now, you've seen this done a lot. A lot of demonstrators are using it because I'm sure it was available for their big onstage party. So it's been used a lot. Now, the one stamp I haven't used yet is this one. And that's partly because I'm kind of a control freak. And when I saw this flower, I know it's a dandelion because of the leaves. I decided today we are going to turn it into a calendula. Now, a calendula is just a kind of a pot marigold, but I love the colors. They're much prettier than a dandelion. A dandelion is just your standard yellow to gold. And, when you're stamping a lot, and the flowers actually, look at that one. I know dandelions do get that stage for a while, but not really. That's more of a marigold stage. And this particularly, no, that is more marigold looking to me. So, or I should say calendula. There's a difference. The pot marigolds are a little different than regular marigolds. Anyway, that's just the garden person and me talking. So we'll just go on from there. The other thing I loved about this set is this little bee. He is so cute. And there are dies to cut it all out. So that's what we are doing. All right, so I am going to get started. It is a very gray day outside, so it's easy for me to stay inside and do a whole lot of fun stuff instead of working out in the yard, because I've got a lot of pruning to do out there. And I see, let's see, who else is joining? I know I'm pretty late today, so I'm not sure what's going on our page. Well, anyway, we'll see who won our video last week. Freddie won last week. We'll see who won for sharing last week. Thank you so much for sharing. Anybody who's watching in the future, make sure that you comment that you've shared. If you are watching on YouTube, you just don't have that option, because I don't ever see any YouTube comments, ever. I've gone in to find them even, and they're very hard to find. They're not like Facebook. All I have to do is find the video, scroll down the comments, and they're there. YouTube has like the comments in a hidden spot that's hard to locate. If I was a professional, I would know where it was. It wouldn't be a big deal, but I'm not. Again, I consider myself a hobby demonstrator, folks. I'm not in this for the money. It's just for the fun. All right, today it is Michelle. Michelle, you won. Congratulations. That's nice to have you win. And Michelle sometimes pops on later because she's not always able to watch right at the moment. All right, so we're going to get started. I hope that my lighting is better. I've noticed my lighting has gotten to be, I don't know, much more iffy. I thought I had my lighting issue solved, and then all of a sudden I realized my lighting is not always good. All right, here's my host code. You get 5 free cards for every $50 order, or sometimes I put in an embellishment pack. I'm saying the 5 free cards because I know that's something I can always supply, and they are nice cards. They're not going to be just cards I slapped something on. You will have a nice layered card with stuff on it. I don't make any other kind of cards hardly. I mean, that's just the deal. So today, this is the card we're going to do. And isn't that a nice background? I really did want to make my own background because I didn't really like the paper that came with the Garden Wishes set. I didn't even order the paper, so I shouldn't say I don't like it because I haven't seen it in person. Just looking at it online, the paper's probably lovely. I just didn't like the colors particularly, or I shouldn't even say that. The colors were okay. They just didn't look like patterns that would be easy for me to put with this design. They looked like things that would be great standalone cards, but as I said, I don't make cards like that. I make them layered. So the backgrounds have to be, generally for me, I don't use my background papers that have a ton of flowers in it because I want my design is oftentimes the flowers. So anyway, that's just who I am. Now, I had to clean my glasses because they were so dirty, but I'm back now. All right, so what we're going to do first of all, I already have my base card cut. This one's a little wider, actually, even than the one I made. This is your standard 4 1/4 across, but and it's okay. I kind of had to squeeze my circle in there a little bit because that's a pretty large stitched circle. So I decided to go ahead and make it a little wider. So this is 4 I think this is even 4 3/4 across. I don't even think this is 4 1/2. I think I went ahead and made it. I might have trimmed it again a little bit more. This is actually 4 5/8. So yeah, 4 1/2 would be a good width to do, and it is 5 1/2 down. Okay, but it's folded like this. So this is your 11 inches. All right, so there's our base card. I'm going to set that aside because I won't be using it right now. I also wanted to use this as our old botanical, it's from the Botanical stamp set. Botanical Tags is what the dies were called, and there were 3 of these really cool. It cut out a half die, so you could make bookmarks, you could make tags, you could do all kinds of things, and there were 3 designs: a rose, a sun, and something else that I forgot now. I use the sun a lot, and it's a nice piece of vellum, kind of see things underneath, so I will be using that, but that's a retired die you would have to find somewhere if you wanted to buy it. And this is a stitched circle from probably Stitched Shapes. This is Pineapple Punch. Now I'm using some colors that are either retired or are retiring. This is Grapefruit Grove, and this is on our clearance rack right now. Grapefruit Grove, when they retired it, I bought an extra pack at that time, even though I wasn't even using the color all that often. But it's kind of like a bridge for me in between, it's a nice peach bridge when I want to use Flirty Flamingo, and I want to use Petal Pink and Calypso Coral. And I've noticed it also is really nice with Terracotta Tile, and the bridge I'm talking about is with Magenta Madness. It kind of is a good all around. It's like an orange sherbet. So anyway, that's Grapefruit Grove. So if you want it, you'll have to get it because it's gonna be gone pretty soon. Now this is the piece that I cut already to go on. This is the size of my card, so this would be, oh, I wonder if it matched. My dimensions were off a little. Okay, no, I must have just cut it according to what the card actually was rather than what I thought it was. And now I just threw all of the pieces I had down, and I lost my little vellum sun, so let me do a quick hunt on the floor. Vellum, when it falls, is just like a feather, so it probably scooted pretty far under my desk. It did, but there it is back again. So let me take that, and we'll take that, and take that, and we're going to put you up where you can't blow away on me. Now, one of these pieces is my piece to stamp and color my flower and bee and the tag, and one piece is the actual border. And that's the border piece. So this is my extra Whisper White. And ladies, have you heard? I heard that there was some issue with Whisper White. We might not be able to order our Whisper White. What was that? I just heard like a rumor. It's like, are you kidding me? I'm not gonna listen to that. I don't listen to rumors. And but if it is a real rumor, I do need to be aware of it. So I'm making sure I've got my pieces right, because I was mixing them all up over there. Okay, so that one is my background. This is my border. I'll tuck you in there. And we'll get make sure my thing is nice and wet, because I've been working away on it. All right, so here we go. I'm going to use this stamp first. This is just the circle stamp, this one. Okay, and you don't need a huge block for it. It's the placement of the dots is random enough that you can just stamp away. You don't have to really worry about it too much. I am going to use my Grapefruit Grove ink pad. Oh, it closed. Oh my goodness. Linda, that is just, wow. No more Whisper White. Oh my goodness. I don't know what we're gonna do without Whisper White. that is not going to work, is it? Obviously there's another paper company out there that's salivating at the chance to be able to provide Stampin' Up! With its paper. All right. And I know there's probably other cardstock temporarily out there that we could use. But I love Whisper White because of its finish. It's really a nice finish. And anyway. All right, so I am just kind of stamping. Now, that last one, I am not going to ink it again, because I'm going to take what's left here on the pad and just kind of go around just to kind of get any extra off and then clean that up. And you can see that my pink ones and red ones have stained that permanently, but it doesn't matter. As long as you clean it off, it will be fine. Oh, good. So are they already, do you think, in negotiations with another company to make that Whisper White? Okay, now for this one, I am doing the open circle one. That kind of matches that. And we're going to go all over with our Pineapple Punch, because that's the other color I'm using here. Pineapple Punch is a nice sunny one. That's why I'm doing this card, I think, today, because it was so gray outside. It's rained some, which I'm glad it's not snowing, because it did snow over the weekend. A little, but it was just nice, big, slow, like super slow. Not a lot of big flakes, some that were big, mostly tiny. And when they came down, it was not like our usual snow. It was like so slow, and they were spread so far apart, it was hardly a snow at all. But it was a nice first snow, because I don't really like driving in the snow anyway, so it was perfect for me. I loved it. It was pretty, and it's, you know, December. It's getting close to Christmas time, so that was nice. Now, I've noticed a lot of times when I'm rubbing my my stamp on my Simply Chamois when it's on the, I've got it in like a stamp case, and when I just rub it on there, it doesn't always get down into the crevices. So I'm trying to do better to get in there and get that stamp actually cleaned off, because I noticed I'm not always getting my stamps. Like that one is stained, but sometimes I'm just not getting them stamped or cleaned quite good enough, which is kind of silly. All right, so now our background is done. This is gonna be a pretty fast card today, and that's one reason I didn't really worry about it too much, being a little bit late coming in here. I just had, it's Christmas time, I have a lot of things to do, and so I just didn't quite make it in time. All right, now what I want to do is put this on here first, and my glue almost to the end of this bottle. I'm not sure if it is really gonna do the job for me. I might have to get out my other one. I always keep two on the side, because it seems like when you're down to the bottom of one, there's still some in there, so you want to shake out that last bit, right? But at some point, it's just like, well, I gotta get, sometimes you have to get it on quick and get done, and I can't be shaking a lot when that's the case. So I do have one on the side here that's reasonably filled, and I'm glad we aren't having a shortage of glue, because that would be bad. All right, stick that on there. I don't have a ribbon or anything on this one, so it's pretty uncomplicated. You can just stick it on. Did you guys get all of your Christmas shopping done? I think I've got all the shopping done. I still have to mail something, but other than that, I got all my Christmas cards mailed. And, well, not all. I guess I still have my kids' Christmas cards. I have to mail theirs still, but other than theirs, I think we are all done with those Christmas cards. And that's handy to get that done. That's a big job. Do you guys send out a lot of Christmas cards this year? Because we were, you know, all closed down in a lot of ways for our church. It's online and all, but our church members are pretty, I haven't seen any of them hardly, except for the ones in our small group at all, you know, so I feel a little disconnected from them, and I think especially our older members who aren't able to get out and about too much, I think they feel disconnected too. So I wanted to send Christmas cards to a lot of our members, and that was a big task. So when that last batch got out, I was really happy to have that done. That was because I had made a lot of cards, thankfully. This happened to be a year that I had a lot of excess Christmas cards. Sometimes I don't, just depends. So I've had the cards, it's just the, you know, I did just a short little typed message, but I don't just leave it at that. I wanted to make sure they had a real message too. Now I'm gonna so I wrote in each one. That always takes so much time, doesn't it? But then it's part of the joy of sending the card, because it's for them, right? It's a personalized gift for them. All right, now I'm gonna put the glue just here where my stitched punch is going to cover it up, because it probably will show through this vellum. Now this is just yellow vellum I had in my stash. I think this last year, and it's retired or retiring, so if you want it, I'm pretty sure it's still available. We had our it was a pack of petal pink and really nice olive green, or old olive, or maybe even pear pizzazz green. It's really pretty. And there might have been a yellow in that pack. Do you remember, ladies, what that vellum pack had? It was a nice one. And anyway, I really liked it. Now this I'm going to just stick on. I'm not stamping on it at all, so I can just stick it on here. So we'll put some dimensionals on there. Those are the mini ones. I don't want those. Get that raised up. So I am glad to have that. Now I feel like Christmas can come. And I had an electrician come and put out a night, 70. Wow, Linda, I think I counted up mine, so I think I have you beat, but barely, just barely. That is a lot of work, isn't it? How did it take you a long time? It took me, I would say, I had all the cards already made, but I think it still took me about at least 2 weeks to have all the mess out and maybe 3 weeks to go from start of picking the card and getting the envelope that matched and addressing it and all that. I think it took 3 weeks for me to process and get mine mailed. All right, so that's going there. Now, I'm going to set that aside here for a minute because I want to take this paper and we are going to stamp that cute little Garden Wishes stamp set. Now, on one of the cards I used, this is a set you can get on our demonstrator website if you are a demonstrator. I don't know if you guys have gone to it, but if you go to not the logo section, but there's another one that's like, what is it called? I forget what the title is, but it has sweatshirts and other just supplies. Demonstrator supplies is probably what it's called. This stamp set was on it, and it might still be, and I really like it because it has this cute little word happy that's the right size. But the other things are nice too. But these little flags are nice. They are related to stamping, so people who aren't demonstrators might not be interested in it, except for I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that because actually all of them are very generic. The one I've used a lot is this Love It, Live It, Share It, and I like that it's a flag with the words in white after you've stamped it. So that one goes really well at the bottom of this little flower collection here. Now I've got this so that I can sponge my sky around it, but in doing that, I've decided I think I'm going to come up with a better method because I didn't really like how that came out. It was a little difficult. I had to kind of correct a lot on it, and that was kind of difficult. It looks like I just used my basic black when I stamped the leaves, but I'm going to use I either used Bumblebee or I might have used Mango Melody on the flower itself. So we're going to go ahead and do it with Bumblebee. And you're just going to take the edge of your ink pad and eyeball it and just ink up your flower. Now if you ink some of the stamp, the other part of it's going to be fine because you're going to be doing that with black anyway, but you don't want to do that first and then this because then you'll get black on your flower, and you definitely don't want to do that. So now that I've inked that up, I do want to move a little quicker. You start making your cards in January. That is smart. Very smart. Okay, now I do need to use the black like right up into the flower a little bit. I don't really want to go into the flower, but I might a little bit. We'll just see how well I can do this. All right, once I've inked up around that flower, I can be less cautious. And we'll see how that goes. We might go this way. All right, there we go. Very nice. And I definitely want to get that cleaned off well. See what I mean about when I look at it, and a lot of times I've noticed, I thought I was getting down into it all, but I'm not. Sometimes it pools the liquid from my pen. It's liquidy enough to get down into the crevices, but it still just pools liquid. So I'm kind of obsessing over that a little bit with you just to let anyone know, yeah, these things happen to all of us. So if you're not aware of it, you might want to look at the little bumblebee. We're going to just do one. He's so cute. You could do a whole bunch, but we'll just do one. right. Make sure he gets cleaned off, although I doubt I'll be doing him in much of anything other than black. You never know, though. All right, I still have a clean spot on here, so that's good because I do want to use this saying, your acts of kindness are like a breath of fresh air. It's quite nice. And we will do that one in, I'm not going to use my Grapefruit Grove. I'm afraid it might be a bit too quiet in color. I'm going to use my Flirty Flamingo. I think my Grapefruit Grove needs to be re-inked, so it looked like it wasn't quite juicy enough to really do what I wanted it to do. That's going to be nice and dark. In fact, it's showing up better than my original card. All right, there we go. Now we're ready to just do a tiny bit of coloring on those leaves, and we will cut that out and be off to the races. Okay, adjust my light just a tiny bit there. Alrighty. Now for my coloring, let's look here really quick. I think what I want to use, a couple of greens because, let me push this in a bit. The stems of the dandelions come down, and I don't want it to just blend in with my leaves. So I'm going to do the stems with Old Olive, if I can find it here. There we go. So there's light Old Olive. And then we're going to use that's a yellow green. So we will use, if I can find, I think that we don't want shaded spruce. Definitely don't want shaded spruce. Just Jade is what I'm looking for. Just Jade is a nice, the light one especially. We'll probably use the dark one too, but we'll start with just that. I think for the flower though, what I need to do, I better do that first. I'm gonna take my daffodil. No, let's do our pineapple punch. Pineapple punch, those pens are probably retired. If you don't have them, I'm so sorry. I think I am going to, I don't have a Grapefruit Grove pen, but the pumpkin pie, the light pumpkin pie is pretty close, so we're going to use that. All right, so let's take our pineapple punch, and first of all, let me make sure it's not going to be too bright. No, it's good. So I'm just going to color all over with that. Okay. And that's all I need to do. I know I left a bunch white, and I did that on purpose. Now with a fine tip, I'm going to just get a lot of these little tips, and I'm not taking a lot of time to be super careful with it, but I don't know if you have seen, there's a calendula called Neon, and there's a calendula called, oh, what is it called? It's something, I think it has the word blush in it, and it is gorgeous because it has little tipped, all the little tips have this light pink orange. There's a few that I've seen that have that coloring. It's pretty. Now that's not dark enough though, so I'm gonna grab Flirty Flamingo. I probably started with the same thing when I did that last night. Probably started with Pumpkin Pie and went on to Flirty Flamingo. Oh, this is actually Calypso Coral. Let's give that a go. This is the dark one. Let's just see what happens. I definitely want more of a pink on here. So that's gonna work better. Now I could, because these are such small marks that I'm making, I don't really need it to blend in. I could use a marker, and a marker would show up a little better, but you might have to be a little bit more careful with a marker because it might actually be too obvious what you're doing. With this, I can kind of just dot, dot, dot. And then if I feel like I'm getting a little too much of that particular color and it's looking like I just went thunk, 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 I can use our color lifter actually. Can use the color lifter and kind of blend it all in really well. All right, so those are gonna be good. And I think I will grab my color lifter here really quick, just to show you what I'm talking about. If you feel like you wanna, you know, muddy it up a little bit. I don't really need to. I do think it does look a little nicer with just a little bit of a highlight. So here's my little white gel pen. And if you just take your gel pen and just put little highlights right in the center of some of those petals. You don't have to do all of them. If you went out of the lines like I did there, you can kind of like white it out. Now I am going to cut this out, so it doesn't really matter that I've got an ink splotch there. So I don't need to worry about that. I was looking at my book that has something about stupid questions. And one of the questions was very stupid, but it was kind of fun to talk about. My husband and I are on Sunday mornings before we do church, we get our coffee at our favorite coffee place and go sit because all of our restaurants are closed. Of course, we would probably do this anyway. Frankly, that is our pattern anyway, so I shouldn't even say that. We sit in the park. Well, normally we would sit at the coffee shop, but at any rate, we go to the park where it overlooks our river, and there's a running and a biking path that's right there. It's beautiful. And we tell each other stories about what those people that are doing. There's usually hardly anyone out, but I'm sure you guys have done. That's not new. A lot of people do this. And the stupid questions kind of came up. So who do you think, of course, he's a guy, so we didn't necessarily ask this character. This is more of a lady character thing. Who do you think would be a better boyfriend? Would it be, if you watched Seinfeld, you know who I'm talking about, Jerry, Kramer, or George? Which one would be a better boyfriend? I'm going to start with this light olive, and I'm just going to use the fine tip on all of the coloring. Just go over these stems first, because they're going to be the hardest to find in this once I get my coloring going. It's all going to blend together, and I need it to knot. There's grass in here, and there's the dandelion leaves, which we are calling calendula leaves now. I think I'll color some of my grass stems a different color just to differentiate it a bit. And now that's done, I'm going to take my dark Just Jade and put in the dark spots of the leaves, but I'm definitely going to avoid that stem. I want to be able to see that there's a stem there. Yes, this is taking a lot of time with a leaf, I understand, but your work is going to really look good if you do these things. It's worth it. It's just really worth it. All right, that's done, and now we'll take. I think we'd all agree. George, we saw George not being a good boyfriend. He had a girlfriend, like several of them, and he wasn't a good boyfriend at all. I wouldn't pick George. Do you remember the episode where? The funny thing is that my husband actually, to some people, resembled the George character, so much so that when that show was popular, the students at school would often say, "You look just like George Costanza," and it was not a flattering thing to tell him. I wanted to kick him every time he came home and said it. He got over it real quick. It didn't bother him too much. I think it did surprise him a little the first time. He doesn't look at all like him. Kids are so, they they look at a body type and a shape. They're like the kids who are just learning square, circle, triangle. They have no knowledge of the finer points of of you know, the differences that there are in humans. They're probably focused on more just racial characteristics. And these are high school students I'm talking about, not elementary. You expect that from elementary. Anyway, it's pretty funny. George Costanza. He had a girlfriend once that he was, do you remember? She was from a wealthy family, and she had an accident and died, and and it was funny because it's a comedy show, and which is kind of sad, and that is funny, but it was the way they did it. It was funny, and I think it was like licking their wedding invitation envelopes or something. All right, the leaves are colored. I bet you're glad of that. Now, I could take some yellow and go over that if I wanted to, but I'm going to use my gel pen again instead. And we're just going to go over the tops where I would like a little bit of light on the leaves. It doesn't even have to be where the light actually would be. It's just where I want it, because this is my little leaf. Do you remember the Bob Ross painting show where he'd say it was a happy little tree? Make it your happy little tree. I think you can get those videos on YouTube if you want to watch them. They were pretty entertaining. And I bet he'd give you great shading advice. I bet. All right, so that's good. We are done with that. I forgot to put away my yellow. I need to color in that little guy. He's pretty cute, but he does need to be yellow. Okay, I'm not going to touch the leaves. They're good. Or leaves. I mean his wings. I am going to add that highlight onto his backside a little bit. Got a little bit smudged with my black ink. All right. Now we can cut that out. So let me raise up this camera, and I need to drag some things over here. Get the cutting machine out, and grab, got all kinds of plates going here. This one, get that piece of vellum off. And we'll stick that right there. All right. Oh, that's loud. Every time one of those clings to the floor, Jeff's like, what? What was that? That scared me to death. Like, yeah, I know. Oh, here you go. You're going to love this. In this set with all these dies, there's this cute little dotted. Oh, do I have a card out? Let me show you how cute that turns out. I have a card here somewhere with that on it. There it is. Can you see it? Look at how cute. There, you can see it better on that one. Oh, I love that. Oh, and that's the one I did with that little flag from that stamp set. You're going to like that. But in the dies, you get 2 bead cutouts. So you can cut 2 beads out at once, which is quite nice. Ooh, that's sticking to my stamp. Let's get that. No, it's not. Okay, it's fine. All right, let's grab the bee. Let's see if I might need to put my other plate on here. Let's grab that other plate. Where did I put you? Oh, you're the one that fell down. Okay, let's stick you on there. We'll put the crazed one on top. You won't be able to see what I'm doing so well, but this one's nice and flat. It'll cut out a lot nicer. Now I'm going to use the tags for that, so I don't need, I'm going to use that, whatever that combo tag is. Hi, Michelle. It's nice to see you. Did you know you won our drawing today? Congratulations. I hope you're having a nice day. It's pretty gray out there. All right, I used, today I'm using not only this new set that's not really available for the average person yet. My bee kind of didn't cut out as nice as I would have liked him to. Oh well, he's gonna have to just do. I might need to fussy cut him a little bit. But I used this, this Playful Backgrounds stamp set today with this, so I'm not completely abandoning the principle of not stamping with stuff. I mean, you can stamp with anything. I mean, there's not any rule or anything. It's just like, if you can't buy it, if you're not a demonstrator and you can't buy it, it's almost like cruel to show you things that are so terribly cute that you can't even buy. I try not to do that. All right. Let me adjust again. Okay, let's see now. We are going to put our flower on here. Look at that. I didn't line that up very well, did I? Now I'm going to lose some of my detailing by doing this. If I would cut it again with my die if I was just all by myself here, but oh well. I don't want to, although it would probably be quicker to cut it with my die. I do know some people that actually use the dies less than you might think because they like to cut like right on the object. I'm not that particular. I'm not going to be doing this when I don't have to. This just happens to be a little bit too. There. This guy's going to go right on the flower, so I kind of don't want his legs to be hanging there with a whole lot of white. So for that one, I will do that. I keep having to get rid of some messages up there. All right, now what we are going to do. All right, we are almost done here. Now, this one turned out a little more orangey, so I might have used the dark pumpkin instead of that flirty flamingo or calypso coral or whatever it was I used. Here we go. We're going to need to cut this out so I can use my tag. So let's cut. We're going to cut pretty close to the words. Okay, maybe a little closer because I want my tag to fit. That the tag punch thing takes like a 1 inch, so you need it to be pretty small. Okay, so Michelle, I'm talking about, if you're there still with us, who would make a better boyfriend if you ever watched the Seinfeld show? Would it be George Costanza, Kramer, or Jerry? Who would be the better boyfriend? All right, this is the lovely no, that's the stamps it goes with. This is the lovely Labels Pick-a-Punch. Michelle, do you remember when we first tried this? It was kind of cumbersome and didn't work well, but I figured it out now, so I like it. It's just, you have to use a really small, tag. It does cut a really small tag. Like, even smaller than that. I better turn it this way so I can see my words under there. Make sure I'm not cutting off my words. I want the other one, not that one. Okay. Line that up. That side. Now we'll do the other side. So I think we all probably agreed. You bought the punch. Do you like it? George, you think George would be the better boyfriend? Huh? He's the one I said definitely wouldn't. Did you ever watch the episode where his girlfriend died and that he was going to get married to, and what he did with her? She left him an endowment to manage what he did with it. Yeah. Not the greatest boyfriend, in my opinion, my humble opinion. All right, now I'm going to just, I'm going to need to cut. I want this to border it, but I do want the same edge. So let's go ahead and just get it where I want it. I'm going to have a pretty thin edge because that punch will only punch so wide of a piece. I don't want to glue it on there yet. And we'll just go like this. Hold your breath. All right. You haven't even used the punch yet. Oh my goodness. That is the story. Uh-oh, too wide, too wide. Maybe it'll go though. It does take little tiny, it's little, you know, very little. That might be why. I don't use it as much as the other ones. And it's because if you don't cut it right, see, it leaves weird little edges. So make sure that's gonna. So yeah, unless you're doing little tiny ones, it doesn't. It can leave little weird edges like that. Of course, my edge wasn't terribly straight. Maybe I should actually cut it with the cutter. There we go. Now it's nice and straight. All right, here we go. See if it's the right length. Yay, it is. Very cute. Down to the last. Okay, so anyway, we do know that if you don't really want a boyfriend, but you just want to say that you have one and you never do anything with him, then Kramer would be the one to have, because he, you know, was a complete nut, and you probably never even have to have anything to do with him. There we go. Your acts of kindness are like a breath of fresh air. I just thought that was so perfect for this card because it's so sunny. So isn't this card a nice sunny one for a day like today? Because it is so dark and dreary out there. Did you like Seinfeld? That was a show Jeff and I really liked when it first came out. And then we got a little tired of it because I don't know, they seemed so mean, you know? They were just so mean-spirited all the time. And then at the end of the show, when they did their final episode and revealed to the audience that they had been purposely playing them mean because they wanted them to be that way. They recognized they were mean. It wasn't like they were... we always thought that they thought some of that was clever, cute stuff, and they didn't. So that actually made the show more endearing when it ended. All right, we'll just stick you like right there. And then the little bee can go right on the flower, and the tag can go on, and we're done. Pretty quick, easy little go. Ooh, you did. You got your order in, Michelle. And oh man, I know I am just barely getting going on it, and it has been a blast. I've really enjoyed it, especially because it's been so gray out there. Michelle, I got a new bike. Did you know that? I got hit by a car, but I was fine. And then it didn't hurt me at all, but it ruined my bike. So I needed a new bike anyway. And then when I went down, I wasn't going to get one because they aren't really on sale. You'd think at Christmas time they would be. So I thought I was going to be pretty safe and get one right away. And then when I looked, I was like, no, none of them are on sale, and I'm not going to spend a ton of money for the bike. But then I wasn't getting any extra exercise, and I've dieted really hard for a week and a half and went from 160 pounds to 161 pounds to 160 pounds to 161 pounds. I did that for a week and a half. And I just thought, fine, I'm going to go down and buy another bike. So I spent way more than I wanted to, but it's a really nice bike. So this is the Butterfly Gems. Ooh, and they are gems. There's the Calypso Coral ones, very bright. So let's see if we can get them on here the way I want them. They're gonna pop out nicely here. Oh, so cute. Love those. You could put one on the flower probably too. I already bought the bike. I don't need one now, and I did. I was going really slow. So it was like right by Liberty Christian. And there was, so I am done. There is your creation. Anybody who makes it, you might want to do something really cute inside with that flower too. That would be really nice. I was on Birch, which is a through street and has no stops. And but it has a divot, you know, at each one of those intersections. So I was going slow because I had to go over that divot, but I wasn't going that slow. She had to stop, and I saw her coming. It was, of course, a teen driver from Liberty Christian. She stopped, and so I thought, good, she did the right thing and stopped, because sometimes people don't even stop. So I just blasted through, but she blasted through. She like gunned it. She didn't see me at all. I thought, God, as I could see, I'm going to hit it. I slammed on my brakes, but I could see I'm going to hit this car. I didn't think you would take me out this way because I knew it was going to knock me off the bike. I wasn't going fast enough to get hurt by hitting the car so much as getting thrown off the bike and then possibly under the car, because that's what I thought might happen, is I might go flump and under her wheel and the wheel would go over me. That's what I expected. God just totally protected me. Totally protected me. My wheel hit her car door. I saw her as she was going by, you know. And my wheel turned and kind of went out of my hands a little, but not completely. And I stopped, obviously, as the car was going. She made it to the end of the street before she got herself stopped. And then I was just standing there on the bike still, stunned that I was on the bike. I thought I'd be thrown off. So that was just God, I don't know, keeping me on the bike. I don't know how he did it. He just did it. And so then I realized, I'm fine. Let's check the bike. And then I looked at it and, you know, walked it to look at the tire, and it was like mangled pretty good. Not terrible, but pretty good. Like way more than me not getting thrown from the bike. And I goes like this to her, come back, you're not getting away. So it was good. I got a good chat and got her to recognize. She said, yes, she does know the Lord. I was glad. I told her it's a good thing, because today you might have killed me if you hadn't. It was good. All right. I am fine, and I have a new bike too. So it worked out. All right, you guys, thank you so much for enjoying my day with me and enjoying this card. Again, make sure that if you are not a demonstrator yet, oh boy, the neat thing about being a demonstrator is you get to order these things ahead of time, which is kind of nice because some of the dies and things, they go out of, you know, they go out of production and all sometimes off and on. And when you're a demonstrator, you can get these things early, and generally you can always get it when you want it. And that's a real perk, because, boy, when there's a good stamp set, you don't want to miss it. All right. I think that's it for today. So you have a wonderful week. And next week, I probably will just put a video on when I have a chance to, but I won't be on my regular time for the next 2 weeks. It's going to be Christmas vacation. So have a wonderful Christmas. Jeff and I will be having a lot of fun. Michelle, I'm sure we'll see you down at Barracuda's at some point in time. Hopefully you have some days off, and maybe we'll be able to see you there. All right. Well, we'll see you in the parking lot out there. All right. Have a great day. Bye.